Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bryanna, and today we're going to be discussing Jay-Z's latest album, 444. So besides the fact that it's Jay-Z and he has been in the game forever, this album was also highly anticipated after the release of Beyonce's confessional album, Lemonade, where everyone was hoping that Jay would address those rumors. So his album does cover topics ranging from racism, classism, and he of course discusses the infidelity he experienced with his wife. So before going into the whole album, I do want to discuss one track specifically, which is track 2, The Story of OJ. So if you haven't heard the song or you're unfamiliar about where the inspiration came from, it was inspired from an interview that OJ Simpson gave during his Made in America special. So OJ recalled a time where a white woman referred to the people he was with as the N-word, but saw OJ as just OJ. So this made OJ believe that he was no longer seen as a black man and that his accomplishments, allowed him to be seen as just OJ. So Jay then took to the track to reveal that there really is no erasing race and that a black man will always be judged by the color of his skin regardless of his status. So I do applaud Jay for bringing that message to the masses, but I think for people of color and people who are already constantly aware of their race, that this message lacks inspiration and important history. So I want to unpack it a little bit. In order to do that, I will use a critical race theory to discuss the way Jay connects with the black community, but how he also provides a disconnect by not accounting for the ways that systematic racism works. And then I will also use a Marxist critique, which recognizes that the human experience is created by economic systems and that differences in race, religion, gender are all used to separate certain groups into positions with little to no ability to create change or better experiences for themselves. So my first critique is that while Jay does acknowledge that no status can erase race, he still encourages capitalist ideologies and suggests giving into systems that were not designed with all people in mind. So Jay raps, "You wonder how Jewish people own all the property in America? Here's how they did it." And then he proceeds to spit game about investing and acquiring wealth. What he forgets to mention is that while Jewish people did experience a horrible treatment to their people, their ability to redirect and turn their situation around was a direct result of their skin color, which allowed them to be considered and seen as white in America. And of course, being seen as white in America comes with privilege. So with this line, Jay completely forgets the song's overall point, which is that a black man cannot erase his race and simply begin to buy back the neighborhood like he suggests doing. So while Jay's intentions do seem good, I also think that his position causes him to lose touch with the intersectionalities of class that also keep his listeners oppressed. So he completely ignores the systems that were put in place in order to keep people of color back, and systems that he in fact had experience with. He grew up in the Marcy Project, having to sell drugs and other things to, help get him out of his situation. So he kind of forgets, his humble beginnings and the systems that were put in place that also made it harder for him to get out. So Jay also raps, "You want to know what's more important than throwing money away at the strip club? Credit." Again, he does not consider the system designed to keep people of color oppressed, and the fact that credit was designed to keep those in lower classes spending money they do not have in attempts to reach their American dreams and, essentially keep them at the bottom. So in conclusion, with this track, I think that Jay does provide some important messages, but I think they're far from transformative and healing. So I'm going to give Jay maybe a B- on this track, just because I do think his $1 million worth of game for $9.99 really does lack some important content. So that's it for that track. Tune in next week and we'll discuss the rest of the 4/4 album. Thanks for watching.